Tesla reported earnings yesterday and have to say that they actually crushed those earnings, beating analyst expectations by a lot with their 5th consecutive profitable quarter. So today we will analyze their Q3 earnings report, and I want to give you guys my forecast and expectations for their revenue growth and stock price by 2025, as I have done before with NIO, Redfin, and Zillow. So I do recommend you guys to stay until the end of the video to see that, but I will also put timestamps down below if you want to go directly to my analysis and forecast. Please smash that like button and subscribe, since it really helps my channel out. Also, remember to claim your 2 free stocks with Webull by just opening an account with them and depositing $100, which you are able to withdraw later on when you receive your 2 free stocks. So it's basically free money. The link for that is the first one in the description below. So yes, they reported an automotive revenue of $7.6 billion and total revenue of $8.7 billion, which was between my expected range I posted on my Sunday's video. They had an excellent growth year over year on their automotive sales of 42%. Now, the most impressive and most important number in this first chart is their automotive gross margin, which is the amount of money they get to keep from the revenue of each car before operating expenses. As you can see, during the same period last year, they had a gross margin of about 22%, but now, yesterday, they reported an automotive gross margin of 27.7%. And I do have to say that that is a very nice improvement, and even more since Elon Musk himself has repeatedly said before that his target was 30%. This number is very, very important for any company within the industry, and it is a number that not every company is able to achieve. If you watch my video analyzing NIO, their gross margin for their vehicle sales is around 10%. That is very, very low for a manufacturing EV company. Then the whole company's gross margin for Tesla is 9.2%. And as I mentioned at the beginning, this was their 5th consecutive profitable quarter since they reported a net income of $331 million, which is an increase of over 130% year over year. Now, as you can see, their production and delivery numbers grew massively. A 4% growth in production for Model S and X, and a whopping 60% growth in the production for Model 3 and Model Y year over year. Now, the deliveries for Model S and Model X actually decreased by 13% year over year, but grew 44% quarter over quarter, which is a very good sign since, as you can see, it has been dropping since Q4 2019, and it was already concerning. But then the deliveries for Model 3 and Model Y grew 56% year over year, which leads us to a total growth in deliveries of 44% year over year, which is an excellent growth and achievement for Tesla. Now, let's talk about their production capacity. Right now, they only have a total of production capacity of 840,000 vehicles per year between their factories in Fremont and Shanghai. Don't get me wrong, it is an excellent number, but I say only because of what they will be able to produce in the coming years. For their Fremont facility, they increased their Model 3 and Model Y productions to 500,000 vehicles since last quarter. They only had a capacity of 90,000 vehicles per year for Model S and Model X. Then on their Shanghai facility, they increased their capacity to 250,000 vehicles and also decided to lower their Model 3 sale price, making it the lowest price premium mid-size sedan in China, and also added a 3rd production shift to their Model 3 factory. Then their Berlin facility is still under construction and will start moving their equipment in the coming weeks to start production next year, and are expecting a capacity of 500,000 vehicles per year, and are also constructing their newest Gigafactory in Austin, Texas. During their earnings conference call, they mentioned that Berlin and Austin are expected to start production next year, but that we should take into consideration that it takes time to get to full capacity, meaning that their production in those factories will start slow and could take 12 to 18 months to even 24 months to reach full capacity, which means that if they start next year, 2021, by the end of 2022 or even beginning of 2023, they will be able to have full capacity. So with their latest upgrades plus their Berlin Gigafactory, they will be able to produce 1.31 million vehicles per year. Now, with their Texas factory, they are expecting a production of 500,000 vehicles per year, which would make their total production capacity to 1.81 million vehicles per year by 2022. Imagine how much they could increase that capacity capacity if they make any other upgrades to their factory as they did in Fremont and Shanghai. That could get them to 2 million vehicles or even more vehicles produced per year. Now for the autopilot, they said that they will already release it and give early access to several people to try their city streets full self-driving, while Tesla continues collecting tons of data to continue improving them. Also talked about their new software that if you pay more, it will make your car faster, and also talk about their new battery pack cost that was already mentioned during Battery Day. On their balance sheet, they have a whopping $14.5 billion in cash and cash equivalents, which has more than doubled since last year, Q3. They have total assets of $45.6 billion and total liabilities of $28.1 billion, which is excellent since they have a total liabilities to total asset ratio of 0.60. Now the juicy part. What are my expectations for Tesla, or where do I see Tesla in 2025? To start, they already reported 3 out of 4th quarter this year, so for the 4th quarter I decided to use their estimates. Tesla is expecting to deliver a total of 500,000 vehicles this year, meaning that they would need to deliver 181,650 vehicles during the 4th quarter. That would be a growth of 62% for the quarter and a total of 36.17% in deliveries for the whole year in comparison to last year. To calculate their revenue, I calculated that the average price for their cars is around $54.5 thousand, since 89% of their sales are from Model 3 and Model Y, while only 11% of their sales comes from Model S and Model X. So I'm forecasting that Tesla will report a revenue of $11.38 billion for Q4 this year 2020. Then for their expenses, I decided to improve them a little bit since they have been trying to have the margin of 30% of their vehicle sales. For next quarter, I'm estimating a gross profit of 27%, meaning that their expense will be 73% of their revenue. After calculating all their possible expenses, I got a total net income for the quarter of $708 million. Take into consideration that all those calculations are possible if and only if Tesla is able to deliver the remaining amount of cars that they need to achieve their target of delivering 500,000 cars this year. Because of that, they would have a total revenue of $32 billion for the whole year 2020, which would be a 31% growth year over year. They will also have an expense of 73.94% on their automotive sales, which would give them a gross profit of around 26% on their automotive sales, which has actually improved a lot since last year. Their gross profit for their automotive sales was 20%. After all their expenses, they would end up the year finally profitable with a net income of $1.1 billion, which is obviously a massive improvement since last year. Again, this will only be possible if they actually sell the amount of cars they are expecting, plus are able to maintain their expenses as they are for the 4th quarter. So finally, this will be the first profitable year for Tesla. Now for my 2025 forecast, I added some things that we need to take into consideration. First of all, by 2025, I suppose they will already have the Tesla Cybertruck, Tesla Roadster, and the $25,000 car that they announced on Battery Day, and all current cars that they have currently available. Because of that, I calculated a new average vehicle price, which would be around $43,000. Another thing we have to take into consideration is their capacity. According to yesterday's report, they only have a capacity production of 840,000 vehicles per year, plus have under construction 2 gigafactories that would increase their capacity to 1.84 million vehicles per year. Now, by 2025, I'm expecting them to end developing the facilities to produce their Cybertruck, their Tesla Roadster, and expand any of their existing gigafactories. So I'm expecting that by 2025, they would be able to produce 3.5 million vehicles per year. So with all that said, I'm forecasting they will have a revenue of $172.3 billion by 2025. I'm also expecting them that they would finally achieve their goal of 30% gross profit for their auto sales, since they will improve their batteries, and after all their expenses, I'm forecasting a net income of $24 billion. So would have an earnings per share of $22.85. So if they have a $22.85 in earnings per share, and by 2025 Tesla has a PE ratio of around 50, since it would be a more mature company and all, it should have a stock price of $1,142.39 which means that if you invest right now in the stock at a price of $430 per share, then you would get 165% return by 2025. Now, we have to take into consideration that the EV industry is always hyped, but also gets affected really hard if something bad happens. So this is just a forecast with possible numbers I calculated according to their previous year's performance and future expectations. So take into consideration I'm not a financial advisor, just a girl here in YouTube using Google Sheets to analyze companies. So do your due diligence before investing in any companies. But these are my expectations for Tesla by 2025. All of this means that basically Tesla is a good investment right now, but you have to take into consideration that I'm thinking long term. I'm thinking for a price target by 2025. So between now and then, a lot of things can happen and a lot of things can change and could be lower or even higher than that. So measure your risk level when investing in any company. Please let me know in the comment section below what you think about this type of analysis video and what you think about my analysis and forecast for Tesla. Is it too bullish, too bearish, or is it good? Also, let me know if you're currently investing in Tesla. Hope you enjoyed this video. Remember, I have a completely free Discord group chat, which the link for that is down in the description below. Please smash that like button and subscribe since it really helps my channel out. Thank you and see you next time.